They fought to the death in front of thousands. But what you think you know about Roman gladiators is completely wrong. These warriors weren't just slaves fighting for their lives. The truth is far more disturbing. That I end this video, I'll reveal the dark secrets the Romans tried to hide. The brutal training, the twisted psychology, and the shocking truth about their deaths. Let's uncover the real story. Ancient Rome. The most powerful empire in history. And at its heart was the Colosseum, a massive arena that could hold 50,000 spectators. But this wasn't just entertainment. This was a brutal spectacle where gladiators fought, bled, and often died. For centuries, historians believed gladiators were just slaves, forced to fight until they died. But recent discoveries have revealed something far more complex, and far more disturbing. So who were these gladiators? And what dark secrets did they hide? Here's the first shocking truth: not all gladiators were slaves. In fact, many were free Roman citizens, who chose to become gladiators. But why would anyone choose such a brutal life? 3 reasons: fame, fortune, and glory. Successful gladiators were treated like modern-day celebrities. They earned massive amounts of money, had fans who worshipped them, and women threw themselves at them. In Pompeii, archaeologists found graffiti that said, quote, "Celadus the Thracian makes all the girls sigh." These men were superstars. Some free citizens were so addicted to the fame that they signed contracts to fight, even though they could die at any moment. But there was a dark price to pay for this fame. Gladiators trained in schools called ludus. And these weren't normal schools. They trained for 4 to 6 hours, every single day. Their diet was carefully controlled, mostly barley, beans, and oatmeal, to build body fat that would protect their organs from cuts. But here's the twisted part: gladiators were valuable property. That a trained gladiator could cost as much as a luxury villa. So their owners, called gladiators, didn't want them to die easily. They were treated like prize racehorses. Fed, trained, and kept healthy, but only so they could bleed for entertainment, and the psychological warfare was even worse. Gladiators were forced to sleep in cells, chained at night, constantly reminded they could die tomorrow. Many went insane. Some took their own lives rather than fight. But for those who survived, here's the biggest secret of all: most gladiators didn't die in the arena. Modern research shows that only about 1 in 10 gladiator fights ended in death. That's a 90% survival rate. Wait, what? But didn't they fight to the death? Here's the truth: gladiator fights were expensive. Remember, these men were worth thousands of denarii. Killing them every time would bankrupt the organizers. So most fights ended when one gladiator was clearly defeated. He would raise his finger, a sign of surrender. The crowd and the emperor would then decide his fate, the famous thumbs down for death. It probably never happened that way. Historians believe thumbs up actually meant death, like a sword thrust upward, but even when death was ordered, it wasn't always carried out. A popular gladiator might be spared, because the crowd loved him. However, there was one type of fight where death was guaranteed. Not all fighters in the arena were gladiators. There was a special category called noxii, the condemned. These were criminals sentenced to death. But the Romans didn't just execute them. They turned their deaths into entertainment. Noxii were thrown into the arena unarmed, forced to fight wild animals, or made to kill each other with no training, no armor, no chance. This was the true horror of the Colosseum. While trained gladiators had a chance to survive, the noxii had none. Thousands died this way. Not as warriors, but as human sacrifices to Roman bloodlust and the crowds. They cheered louder for these brutal executions than for skilled gladiator combat. Today, the Colosseum stands as a tourist attraction. But beneath its ancient stones lie the dark secrets of one of history's most brutal spectacles. Roman gladiators weren't just slaves, they were celebrities. They trained brutally but rarely died. And the real horror wasn't the gladiators at all, It was the condemned who had no chance. The Romans may have fallen, but their legacy reminds us how easily entertainment can become barbarism. If you found this fascinating, check out my video on the fall of the Roman Empire. The link is in the description. And don't forget to subscribe for more dark history secrets. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.